Ready. Play.
Zverev Fils. By the way, let's have a quick look at the poll. We only got 4 votes so far, but no one's voting for Taylor Fritz to win it. And 50% have gone for other. I wonder who that other is. So there's Zverev, Fritz, and Djokovic, and 50% have gone for other. Are they going for de Minaur? Are they going for Berrettini? Are they going for Fils?
Adam Walton.
Adam Walton. Who knows? Let us know in the live chat if you do think that one of Zverev, Fritz, and Djokovic are not winning it. Anyway, yeah, Zverev Fils. So Fils won this remarkable match yesterday against Tiafoe, which I thought had a lot of ingredients to be a great match. Don't think it'll end up being in the conversation for matches of the year, but probably matches of Miami. Certainly, it can get a more than a mention. And I enjoyed it immensely. There was a lot of tantrums. I think there was a wry smile towards the end of the match when there was a racket smash from Tiafoe, because, of course, Fils had just done the same like 45 minutes before. When Fils did it, though, it was at the end of the second set, and I thought, okay, this is a reset. He then had a fairly calm conversation with his team, and, you just thought, okay. And I did think, even though he was down at times in the first set, that Fils was the better player pretty much throughout. I know he was a bit wayward at times, as only he can be. But, yeah, the expression on his racket, that's what it felt like for me.
I mean, I would love to be more excited about this clash. I think it obviously has some good history too. When you actually started saying something about an amazing match, I was thinking you were going to reference Hamburg already.
I see. Yes,
31
yeah.
Final that was, of course, included as part of other top 5 for 2024, and I think absolutely rightfully so. I think it was like number 2 for me personally. And I'd love to see another big clash between them. I just don't know if after yesterday I have that much faith in Arthur's holding up. Obviously, he's going to need so much like discipline and patience in this matchup, and I'm not positive that he can do it here after struggling so much and cramping in the third set. Zverev, I honestly haven't followed his run too much because, well, he hasn't been a pleasure to watch recently, if ever. And
we know about the tennis insight, though. We know about the tennis insight.
The 9-9-26 against Burnley. Yeah. I mean, these were like prime examples of matches where if they got close, I would have tuned in, but they didn't. And
But at least 3 of their 4 matches have gone to 3 sets, which, given the physical travails that Fils had at times yesterday, I think it was in the 3rd set, actually, although he ends up prevailing, wouldn't necessarily be good news for Artur, but it is also even more difficult to imagine a straight sets win over Zverev. I just think with Zverev as well that, maybe he wasn't entirely happy through when spells in South America, particularly in Argentina and the crowd. But it also was, I think, Franz Lundelo who he lost there. I mean, that's a really tough match for most players on the tour in Argentina on clay.
It's not about losing; it's about how you look while losing, right? And I think in South America, it was pretty clear that he just kind of didn't care all that much. Like the first set against Cerundolo, the last game against Comesaña, he's like half tanking it. But Acapulco was a bit different to that, right? And then also Indian Wells, yes, Talon Griekspoor, amazing form, great player. But at the same time, you kind of just have to think like, okay, so he's so passive in the third set there. Clearly the confidence isn't really there at the moment.
But the draw sort of, at least long term, was opening up with the falling of Alcaraz and Medvedev and 1 or 2 others that perhaps I think that might have just given him the motivation to get that mojo back. And I'm just wondering who's also lies elsewhere on the horizons for Zverev, at least until the final. This is round 4. What's the draw? I should open that up in terms of potential quarterfinals.
Fils is already the forefront. So Machac Menchik, Machac Menchik is the quarterfinal potentially. Tricky. It's difficult. And then obviously Fritz Walton or Berrettini de Minaur. So I don't think he's going to have an easy round from here.
I said, but it's not Djokovic. It's not Alcaraz. It's not Medvedev. It's not... Who else?
Presently on the ATP Tour, I think it really doesn't make a big difference if it's Machac Menchik or Medvedev or...
Okay. Yeah. I think he beats Mahac.
Maybe he'll play Menchik.
Well, exactly. Yes, that may be different. And by the way, I'm not saying he doesn't beat Menchik as well. I probably would predict him to win that one too. But I just think it would be a little bit more random than Mahac. And he beats Walton as well. And
yeah,
De Minaur, he beats De Minaur as well. He beats De Minaur. He beat him on. Yeah, he beats De Minaur, I think. Fritz, oh, of course, Fritz. There was the Scott Barkley tweet, and he's pretty legendary when it comes to those. But what was it? Something about 2025 predictions. Djokovic will have a rant at his box, and Alcaraz will spectacularly win one tournament and spectacularly lose the next, and Taylor Fritz will beat Alexander Zverev or something like that. Was his 2025 prediction. So,
oh yeah, because of their matchup. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm quite keen for that because I'm also keen for that because I actually think that we might be being deceived by that matchup. But I've said that before regarding Swiatek and Ostapenko, so I need to tread carefully. But rewinding
what does
the
it
clock,
mean being deceived by what? I mean, Fritz bores Zverev to death, and that's something that usually Zverev does. Doesn't mean that he can't win, like literally by increasing his level by 1% in the next match. Because that's what the ATP finals was like, right? I mean, literally, I don't know, a couple of better shots here or there, and yeah, Zverev is winning that much anyway. But it doesn't mean that he's gonna like playing Taylor, who just literally bored him to death.
And anyway, are we going to be bored to death by Zverev feast? Maybe not. I think it could be entertaining. But I think Zverev has got the bit between his teeth. Even that Hamburg final that you referenced, by the way, there were, when I probably watched it, I remember having some thoughts during the first set about Zverev's level, and then thinking, okay, now he's up the level in the second set, and I think the third as well, and just waiting for Zverev to win that match in many respects, and it just never transpired. Then it was like maybe 6 months later, and then it's like, oh yeah, he had a really rough first set. I think the backhand was flying into the net on slightly unusual occasions, and maybe even on set point as well. And and I think he also was still having some injury issues there as well. And I think they were probably more noticeable at the beginning of the match than, funny enough, as the match developed. And he may even have highlighted that in press afterwards. So, given that there was only 1 or 2 points in it, that still probably could have or should have gone Zverev's way, despite the spectacularness of the victory for Fils and all the other drama that happened that day. And yeah, I think a motivated Zverev wins this match.
I don't see like a really easy way to win for Fields after yesterday. Let's just say that.
Yeah, indeed.
And that's unfortunate because it could be a bit better. But my prediction for this match is that I'm not going to watch it because it will be the last match of the day, and I'm probably going to fall asleep during that because that's exactly what happened to me yesterday at Świątek Svitolina.
By the way, Gene is optimistic about Mahac's chances should he play Zverev, and of course he also highlights the funny possible matchup between him and Fritz. Gene, thanks for joining us. Do hit that like button. I don't need to tell you to subscribe, but anybody else, of course, tuning in, please do so. You're going to get reminded again about that in a second. But I also want to just give you a quick reminder for those wondering why we are not talking about Djokovic and against Djokovic against Musetti and De Minaur against Berrettini, because we've already done that some time ago, and those videos are there out for you on YouTube. And I'm just going to share the link there, or share the image of it at the very least. So please do check out those videos and anything else that tickles your fancy. In the meantime, enjoy the round 4 men's action today. It's a bit of a manic Tuesday in some respects, I guess, because also we've got, I think, 2 quarterfinals on the women's side today, I think, and then the other 2 women's quarterfinals tomorrow. So a little bit tricky maybe to keep up with where we're at, but that's how it is in Miami. And for everybody else, you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.